No, do all your analytic stuff during the practice week. Let the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators do their work, and you manage the
Yeah.
game.
And obviously, like if you want to run the ball and you hear the play caller call a pass play,
Just say it.
obviously it's going through
Yeah,
your headset. Be like, hey,
right.
now we're running.
We're running. What's the run play? Best run play here. That's it.
Well, McDaniels, I'm starting to really like him. At first, I didn't, but I'm actually starting to like him. I think they did a nice little skit on him. They said he's like, "Hey guys, I think I'm gonna pass every play this drive." He passed 11 times straight. Like
Yeah, he's like a kid playing Madden with real life
he
people.
is, he is. And
That's
you see
his
him on the
thing.
sideline, the animation, like he's running. He's in sweats and J's.
Hey Tua, hang loose, bro. Hey, if we had a helmetless football league, you'd be the face of it. Oh, bro. Hit it, bro. Swaggy swag. Yeah. Hell yeah. Big time X Factor. Oh, hell yeah, Steeler. Go back to the huddle. I'm going to change the play, but I'm not going to change the play.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I think he started as a ball boy or something like crazy. Like he started like from the bottom and just, kind of worked his
He
way up.
did. He's like a run game guru.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't like it was, but it just listen like the more I listen to him talk, the more I kind of
Yeah,
like I can
appreciate
see
it.
why players are buying into what he's doing and his relationship that he has with his players, especially he's being a younger guy. What I mean? Like he's like everybody's out there in gear. He's out there. He was in gray sweats, at the Eagles game, right? A great like gray
Yeah.
sweats, top and bottom, and some J's. With the slim pants, right? Showing his ankles, like so. What I mean? Like I can see why some of these guys are relating to him a little bit, man. So, but yeah, I hear that. All right, we got week 8 NFL plays are locked and loaded, as Sharp says. Y'all know what time it is.
What time is it?
We don't want to welcome everybody back to another episode of Money Pot Betting and the Money Pot Podcast Show. This is kids coming down knocking on while we doing the show. What's going on with these kids? They don't hear the link, the intro. They come down, they see the lights dim, they see the backlights. Like, what's going on? Welcome everybody back to another episode of Money Pot Betting and Money Pot Podcast. I am your host, CEO, President, etc., etc. Call me Moss Money. And I got the boys back. The gang is back. Sharp, Diddy. What's up, bro? What's up, boys?
Good
What's up, boys?
evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. So we have NFL Week 8. Birds got a great win last week. Sharp was right on top of that in terms of the bounce back. So I hope you guys followed his Eagle plays because he's been on fire with them. As we've been looking at the charts. And what we do here is always we try to stay transparent. As always, you're starting to hear me say that a little bit more because I think that's very important as we get a little bit deeper into the season here. And we want to look at, making sure that we stay ahead of the curve, letting you know that what we're betting and where our numbers are. And like always, I got to start with myself, got to start with the lead dog with the plays here. Didn't have a bad week. Yeah, we can see that pretty good. Didn't have a bad week last week. Cup really killed me. But Puka just went off, and they just he just kept feeding him and feeding him. And I know Cup had a couple drops early on. It happens. It is what it is. But man, did he kill me a little bit last week? But it is what it is. Because I would have had a really good week. Cup went off. I had Waddle over 60 yards. That was a little scary because he was out, and then he came back, and then got a 60. He would have went over 100 if they didn't call that. That up.
Mhm.
It was like, what was it, an outpost that he had? He had Slay burnt on that
Yeah.
thing. And if they were going to go to him too, if they didn't blow
Hmm.
the play dead. So, and you could tell he was mad. He came back all in Slay's face, like, boy, I had you.
Mhm.
But it's still good play. I like that play. Colts under was obviously a big miss. The Colts and Cleveland just went at it, 39-38. It was crazy. that happened. Kelsey was easy money. Cup thought it was easy money, lost on that, and then I hit my teaser. Got through it. Chiefs typically don't cover, but that 3-team 10-point teaser really helped me out with the Chargers. Ravens look good, Seattle look good. So on the week, we're still kind of hitting okay. I want to say over 6 units here. Still kind of a little bit lower than we would like. We want to get this up to 60%, 52.5 on the number, 52%, but still profitable, still making money, and that's what it's about. All right, Diddy, we gotta go to the bloodbath. I know you said it already.
Look at
Looking
that.
looking red down here.
I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding.
Yeah. So I think this is a good point to know, right? When we do this, there's going to be wins and losses, and there's going to be great weeks, and we have better weeks than we typically have bad weeks. But sooner or later, you're going to run into that wall, and you won't run through it, and you're going to get hit back. And unfortunately, this was the week for the homie Diddy. Didn't hit a bet. I don't want to go really through it and kind of pick it apart, but it is what it is. But we already know, major step back is always good for a major comeback. So I'm sure he'll bounce back. That's typically what happens too, right? These runs don't run like that. Again, usually kind of bounce back. So that one, give you a hit on the number. 13 and 15 took you down pretty good. You had a lot of bets too. It was your heaviest bet week last week, I think, from college to NFL. So minus 3.5 on the number as of right now, but I'm expecting that to come back next week. And then C Sharp has some good plays here, heavy plays like you do. I forgot you had the Kamara pick, New Orleans money line, kicked butt on the Eagles. The Swift one came through for you as well. We didn't really talk about much. You made some more money off me, Sharp, on that Kelsey pick. And there's nothing wrong with it. I love spreading the wealth. And then you got hit.
Well, no. Your Kelsey one, I did tell you. I tailed you. We double dipped on the show. I tailed you personally with your yardage, but I went with the catches. I went with his over 6.5 catches.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did. Yeah, that is true. I remember that now. Yep.
But then I told you I was going to double dip on the yardage prop with you, but I wasn't going to double dip on the show because you already gave that out, and I thought it was a perfect spot. We talked about it. He just destroys the Chargers.
Yeah, for sure. I forgot about that because I did say it'd be a good same game parlay. I thought. Yep. I said. Yep.
Yeah, and we cracked up in the chat because it both hit at half.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Swift, Taylor Swift, keep coming to the games, baby. Keep coming to the games because he's balling in there. So keep coming to the games and that dumbass handshake you doing.
I never thought I'd have to say this when I'm handicapping a game, but I may have to check and see if Taylor Swift's going to be at the game in Denver. Because if she's not, it might be time to actually take Denver to cover versus the Chiefs. Just thinking out loud, I never thought I'd have to factor that in, but hey, maybe I do.
Yeah, they're due too. Denver's due. So
I told your Kamara play. I thought that was a really good play, and unfortunately, I didn't put a whole lot on it. I wish I did. I feel like I missed on that one, but I did tell it that was a really, really, really good play.
Yeah, well, we're coming to find out that Carr's checked down Charlie, man. Like he wasn't before. Like that wasn't his MO. But Kamara had 9 catches that game, 8 catches. He had another game where he had 10 catches.
13. He had 13 catches.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was watching that game really closely. I find that he's having issues with his receiving core. He's just not linked up correctly. I mean, between him and Chris Olave, I don't know what the routes Chris Olave is running. He looks lazy out there. He doesn't look like he's following through on his routes. And I feel like that's
here's my thing with what I've seen with New Orleans on tape. It happens to every quarterback. It kind of started happening with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I know his play was good, but he stopped getting hit, meaning if pressure was there, he just would get rid of the ball, check down instantly, or throw it away. Brady could still play his last year in Tampa. He could still spray the ball around. He just didn't want to get hit anymore. Anytime pressure was there, he literally just accepted the sack and went Peyton Manning. Denver Broncos style and just went fetal position. And when I watch Carr, I'm getting to the point where I think he's made so much money and the hits have added up in his life. Dude, I don't watch him stand and deliver when the pressure's there anymore.
Mm.
And the Saints offensive line isn't what it used to be. And so I agree. I think Chris Olave wishes he had his old quarterback back, a guy that was willing to push the ball down the field a little bit. And so he's kind of dogging his routes, knowing Carr's
Definitely.
just going to check it down. And then so when Carr does have a chance to throw it, his number one receiver is now not reliable. And so it's just turned into a really bad – basically just take Kamara's catches every week because that's all they got.
Yeah.
I agree. And then you lost on the big teaser. I think the Jags, New Orleans under bitching the butt. They went over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they went
Thursday night
56.
under's been cooking, and that one, again, hey, I that was kind of same with New Orleans. I was kind of banking on Lawrence not playing, or if he was going to play, he was going to be seriously hobbled and not be able to run around. And credit to him, man, he looked like a dude on a mission. And I'll be honest, he was the best player on the field in my opinion, and that burnt the over in my New Orleans bet. So shout out to Trevor Lawrence, you got me.
So looking back up, still hitting at an unbelievable clip here. You at 65% here, wins versus loss, leading us on the NFL side and over 52 units, which is amazing right now. And like I said, man, you bet us blind, you're printing money, just following picks. Obviously, our unit size is all scattered and different, but at the end of the day, we want more green than in our pockets to be fuller than what we have. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, hit that notification button. You'll see Diddy in the beginning with his
Yo, can you
thank
get that
you.
off the screen, please?
Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
Oh, my bad, bro.
Hey, I do want to say real quick.
My bad, no. Go ahead, Sharp.
We are a good team, and when we've been doing the college football reviews, there's a lot more red on my columns, and you boys had a lot more greens, especially Diddy. So I do want to say, sometimes you have a rough year on one side and you have a great year on the other, and that's just kind of why the law of averages happens. And you can't be scared. You just gotta keep on going.
That's why we're a team, brother. Got to lean on each other, man, and that's what it comes down to, for sure.
For sure. All right, let's get into it, y'all. NFL Week 8, starting it off. I actually do have a play here. I typically do not bet Thursday night football. I do not bet Thursday night football. But I'm taking what Sharp said a long time ago about a split, and that's Allen coming off a loss and a bad loss at home. So I went back and looked, and I also looked at the Buccaneers defense, which is pretty stout against the run. And Buffalo can't really run. But what I did see against Buffalo's defense is that every running quarterback or who are athletic has scored. Allen has, I think, 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns. He's only not scored on the ground once. The rushing attack is still trying to find its identity, and he's a part of it, similar to how Jalen's a part of our rushing attack. So I'm taking a prop here for my first best bet for Thursday Night Football. I really like Josh Allen to score a touchdown here at plus 135. I think he gets in the zone. I think the brotherly shove, obviously not everybody can do it, but when they get close, they're going to line up and do it. And they're going to try to get it. And, Allen's a big guy, 6'5", 6'6", 240, 230, whatever, how much maybe probably more, 250, or probably a little bit heavier than that. And I think he has enough to get into the end zone. And obviously we knows his legs as well. I was leaning here also. I really like Diggs. Diggs has been on a mission from a receiving standpoint. He has over 100 yards in every game except 2. It's just insane. And at home, he's even worse. Averaging almost close to 150, 120 yards a game. So I was really looking at Diggs. I don't know if I'll do that as a live bet. He's at 86.5, probably about right where he should be. But I like the Allen bet a little bit better here. So give me Josh Allen to score a touchdown at plus 135 for Thursday Night Football.
When's the last time he scored?
Last game. He scored like 3 games in a row.
Okay.
He scored 3 rushing touchdowns in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Perfect. Just he pisses me off so goddamn much. I just get frustrated watching him play. But I mean, I think, like you said, if he got something going on there for sure. At that line right there, that's good money. Great value.
Yeah, he scored 4 rushing touchdowns out of the last 5.
Yep.
So I like him to get in the zone today. Tomorrow. I don't think they can. I mean, he could always pass for 4 touchdowns, but he's been on a turnover machine like Hurts has been as well, and he's been known to be one as well. So, all right, let's go to the games. Week 8. Hey, it's the first game up, so let's not go talk about. Let's talk about your Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia is minus 6.5. Total is 43.5. Minus 290. Sharp, I'll go with you, man. You're the guy about the Eagles. You have anything on this game, or what are you betting on this game, and what's your best bet for this game? Because I got one.
Well, I think it's easy to kind of just hop on the choo-choo train and take AJ Brown over 88.5 yards, right?
Yep.
Like, that seems pretty obvious here. Now, I will say Washington secondary, they have benched their rookie Emmanuel Forbes. So this won't be the same matchup. This won't be AJ Brown on a rookie that he just, I think Emmanuel Forbes weighs like 170 pounds. I mean, he's not going to cover a guy who outweighs him by 50 pounds. So it is a little different matchup. They have moved their previous slot corner, Cajuste, outside. So, he's a bigger corner. I do think AJ Brown's going to be able to run by him. So, I mean, I just think you could just auto play AJ Brown over 88.5 yards. This wouldn't be a huge prop bet for me. I think the pressure is building, kind of like with the CMC yardage I was talking about early in eventually the yards go away. Now you can start looking at auto TDs because I do think AJ Brown gets a ton of the intermediate red zone looks. Obviously, when we get inside the 5, we're going to look to run. But when we get in that 10 to 15 yard range, we definitely tend to look for AJ Brown. Dallas Goedert's another prop I like. He always kills this team. Jamin Davis has started to come along at linebacker, but he's a smaller, faster linebacker, and he just struggles to cover Dallas Goedert. 41.5 yards is kind of low, in my opinion, for this particular matchup. So that's another place I would target. As for the spread, I don't love this number. I do think if it continues to rise, I'll start looking at Washington. Washington always plays this very tough. I think the line, I had it power rated at 6. I did play Washington in that first matchup when it was 9. I thought that line was inflated at 6. I do think that's a sharp line. Now that we're heading to 6.5, I'm starting to lean Washington. If we get to 7, what I'm hoping is the public starts to hop on later in the week. Payday's Friday, then people start betting the Eagles, especially off a big Sunday night win. If that line gets to 7, I'm definitely going to take Washington. And if it gets to 7.5, I'm going to take Washington for more than 1 unit.
So is the play to AJ Brown? I know I heard some likes and leans. Do you have an official play yet or no?
I'm gonna. I mean, I don't know how you guys are. I mean, I don't know, but we're probably all aboard. I think you just got to take AJ Brown here. It's not a 5-unit type play, but I like it for 2 units. I don't know if he'll get that 125 and break the record, but 88.5 is pretty good there. And just like that Thursday night game, you were talking about it. It's an official play for me. We can put them both down for me. I like Stephon Diggs over 86.5 too in that Thursday game. Those are both 2-unit plays for me.
Okay. So Diggs and AJ for 2 units.
Yep.
You could probably parlay that too.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking out there, if you guys were wanting to parlay something, that's probably a good parlay. Like you said, Diggs was on a mission. he did go under his prop last week, but let's face it, with or without Christian Gonzalez, now that it's a few weeks removed, Bill Belichick's still the best defensive coordinator in the league at taking your fastball away, right? Give him time, especially a division opponent. So he knew how to slow down Diggs. So this matchup, Tampa's not going to know how to slow down Diggs.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I learned from an old pro bettor a long time ago. A guy I used to chat with and learn from in Delaware. He always told me with these games, when you play the same team twice, the second game is never goes the same way the first game went. So the first game obviously was actually a shootout, right? They went to overtime. And I think that this game is going to be the complete opposite. And I think that looking at this game as well, with the 43.5, this feels like an old school NFC East, like what we expect the first game to be like. They played them tough, obviously, but I mean, Sam Howell threw all over us too, right? And they took us to overtime as well. So I tried to look at the weather, see if the weather was a factor. It seems like it's gonna be a regular fall day. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a little bit timid here. On this one play, my lean, and then I'll tell you what my best bet is. I feel like Sam Howell under here, 238 is a good play. I just don't think that they're going to be able to pass the ball. I don't know. Do you think Bird's going to play? Does he have to play? Bird
Our safety.
or the safety? Is it Kevin Bird?
Kevin Byard. Sorry, my bad.
I said Bird. I'm sorry, Byard. I'm sorry.
Kevin Byard. He should be an easy transition. That's why you pull the trigger early in the week, because the game planning starts on Tuesday. Well, really Wednesday. Walkthrough's Wednesday, and he was in the building on Tuesday to pass his physical. So I'm assuming he started walkthroughs on Wednesday. We're shorthanded at safety. Remember, Edmonds started last week, and he was part of the deal. And in my opinion, I don't think Sidney and Justin Evans is on IR, and Sidney Brown, I don't think he hasn't been practicing. So yeah, I mean, I think this is for sure. Reed Blankenship. Sidney Brown played, but I think this is for sure with Justin Evans out on IR. I mean, I think this is Blankenship and Byard all day long.
Yeah.
What a great pickup.
Right?
Yeah. Amazing.
I will say, I am curious. Like, that was my one hesitation, because if you go look at his splits, like I'm like I said, I think the line's sharp. But another one of my plays in this game, and this is just a guy who kills the Eagles, like always, is Terry McLaurin. And in this matchup, I don't understand why 55.5. Like, for this matchup, that seems criminally low. I know Sam Howell is on his way to be sacked more than any QB in the NFL history, but he just seems to have that. He's speed and power combination is something that Slay just has a tough time with. Now, maybe with Byard, we roll coverage and take him out, and maybe that's why the prop's low. I don't know, but that does seem low.
You know what? I'm doing it. I'm just going to put it with my other Eagles bet. I'm going Sam Howell under his 238 yards. It was 200. I'm going under. It just like just the way like the props are low, the numbers are low. If it becomes another shootout like it is what it is. I mean, the rushing is low. B. Robinson only 38.5 yards. I know we're the best rushing defense in the league. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I see this as like a 24-21 type game, if even that. 24, like those old school NFC East, type games. So I'm adding that to my play. That's an official play as a prop. Just 1 unit on that one, and 1 unit on the Josh Allen bet as well. But my 2-unit bet to keep the thing moving is he missed one last. Did he miss one last week, or was it last week that he missed one? I'm going back to the well, man. Give me Jake Elliott again over 1.5.
This will be the game.
Field goals.
This will be a game for it.
Yeah.
Give me over Jake 1.5. This is gonna be a 2-unit play for me. I think he bounces back here a little bit. and I think they have just a little bit of trouble trying to get in the red zone. They're coming off a good game. It's a good spot, kind of Washington wise, because nobody really. Well, I wouldn't say nobody really had the Eagles winning. I guess the consensus was the Eagles money line, and then the line and the betting line was the Dolphins with the +3. So a little mixed bag. I don't think it was a surprise the Eagles won at home. They crushed a lot of teasers, obviously, when you tease Miami up to +10. Yeah, I like this bet, Jake Elliott. I think it's a nice bounce back spot here for him. I think he gets 2 field goals. I don't think he misses another field goal like he did in that the one game. It was a short field goal. So give me Jake Elliott for 2 units over 1.5.
Yeah, I think I definitely like that. I want to tell you on that. He had 4 field goals last time he played, and that was a 30 something-ish game. So I think the opportunity is going to definitely be there for Jake Elliott for sure. I think this game gets played a little tighter.
Yeah, I do too.
I think, I said this early on in the year. I think around like week 7, week 8, I think the Eagles start catching a rhythm. And hopefully, I think this is kind of the page we've turned from the Jets, almost like the Jets was the learning lesson. Is like, okay, this is what we got to do to move forward these next few weeks. So, yeah, I think the only issue with the Jake Elliott, which is weird, that's a weird stat. Like Jake Elliott is like one of the leading leaders in field goals, right? I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
and field goal attempts, but yet we lead the league in 4th down attempts. It's like one of the that shouldn't be the same, if you get what I'm saying. Like, because we're taking away those opportunities to kick field goals. But either way, hey, we're very unique. The Eagles are a very unique team.
Yep. Anybody else got any Eagles bets?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Just give me 2 units. I mean, I was just checking the weather. The weather should be fine for passing. I totally agree with the low scoring, but I mean, Terry just gets us, man. I mean, I'm looking
Okay.
5 times in his career he's had over 50 yards at halftime against us. His prop's 55.5. I mean, just give me a little 2 unit play on that too. Terry McLaurin receiving.
And
the other ones are 1 unit plays, right?
Yes, single units. I was small on those. I wasn't very big. Yeah, my only one I was also thinking about 2 units is Dallas Goedert, but I'm undecided. Just because we go in and out of phasing him out of the offense. And with the one thing that concerns me this game about A.J. Brown's passing, and I will say where maybe his streak of 125 comes to an end, but he hits his prop. Hurts does seem a little gimpy, and they mentioned a little injury report. And I will say this, Washington's front 4 it might not be all the way back, but Chase Young looks like he's back to being a double-digit sack guy. Their front 4 is good, and so that means they can get pressure while dropping 7. And so that is, without Forbes being like a Where's Waldo where you can just take advantage of them, their defense has definitely gotten way better.
Yeah, Chase looks good for once. He looks maybe like he's healthy. He's a big dude. Pause.
Yeah,
like
remember
when he walks past people, like he's he's so much bigger than everybody else around him. Pause again. In terms of just tall. You know what I mean? He looks. It's almost like Megatron playing defensive lineman.
He's a get off the bus guy. He kind of looks like Predator.
Yeah. So
and remember his fifth year option wasn't picked up, so he's heading into a free agency year, and you know how that is as former players. That's this money year.
Time to get paid. Time to get paid for sure. All right.
So I like all the. Just real quickly, I think we spoke behind in the background about that AJ Brown. I don't want to harp on it too much.
Yeah,
I want to do the alternate line. I do agree. I think the nervousness of that play would be, is Hurts going to be healthy enough to get the ball downfield? Hopefully he is. I mean, he's been practicing. Nobody really knows what the injury is. Hopefully just maybe he got hit there, and maybe just a little soreness. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go for it, man. I think they're going to try to get him to break this record, whether it's an important record or not. I think they talked about it in the post game. AJ Brown spoke about Calvin Johnson in the post game. I'm sure they're probably talking about it in the locker room. AJ probably on the phone with Hurts, like, yo, you know what time it is. So for me, I'm gonna put some money.
What'd he say? Well, let's do it.
Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're going to try to. I think he's going to try to get him the ball. for sure to get over the 125. So I would look at that prop if that's possible. You'll get the value. They'll be there on the plus side,
Not yet. It's not. Well, I'll check. I'll
closer to the
check.
game day.
I'll check FanDuel, but
Okay.
it's not on DraftKings yet.
And hopefully it is. If it pops up, that'll be something I'll be sprinkling some money on. Just because, like I said, the value will be there. And he's on what? This will be the 5th game or 6th game. I think it's 6th game, right?
6. This will be the
Yep.
6.
Yep.
I like those things. I think people play for those things.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Sirianni's very aware of them too.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on our sack props as well, by the way. This team gives up a ton of sacks whenever they put out the Eagle sacks. I mean, Hassan Reddick is cooking since his cast came off.
You're right.
And he's almost guaranteed. He's almost guaranteed to get a sack in this matchup.
That might be another play right now. Let me see.
They don't have the prop. They don't have the sack props up. I've been waiting. They don't have Carter's up. They don't have Sweat's up. They don't have any of our guys up yet.
And I've been critical of Sweat over the years, but he's having a really good year. He's backing up from last year. He had double-digit sacks last year. He came on strong late last year because I think the first 6 or 7 games he only had 3 sacks, and then he just blew up on the second half. But he's been steady. He's been a steady guy is what I wanted to see. Steady pressure, getting a sack every 2 games. So he's really come on. But man, I think Chris Long said it best. If he didn't have that knee issue, man, he would be he would be a problem. Because you see it, when he jogs off the field, there's just a gimp. There's just he just got no kneecap.
He was the number 1 player in high school. He was on a Myles Garrett trajectory until he had a horrible knee, degenerative kind of knee issue, really.
So,
yeah, that's just crazy. It's crazy, just crazy. All right. So I don't have anything on the Patriots or Dolphins. I do have some on this Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. Anybody got anything on the Dolphins or
just some teaser plays. So I guess we'll get to that at the end of the show.
Yeah, I forgot. You did send your plays in. All right, we're both on this game too. So Jacksonville versus Pittsburgh for our next best bet. Jacksonville's favorite -2.5 totals 42, -142. Diddy, talk to us. What you got?
Yeah, this a play for me is going to be Jacksonville going to Pittsburgh, and I'm looking at the first half under 20.5. I would have loved the 21.5 there. But I'm still liking this game being tight and boxy, like I usually say. I know Jacksonville's been hot over these last few games. They're able to run the football really, really well. They ran the ball down New Orleans' throat. And that's a solid defense in New Orleans, at New Orleans. Now you're going to back-to-back road games, going to Pittsburgh. And ladies and gentlemen, Pittsburgh is 4-2.
Very good. Yo, Pittsburgh is good.
Fuck?
Yeah.
So
4-1 in their last 5. I was looking at that.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's pretty remarkable. And once again, they have one of the best defensive players in the game next to Myles Garrett, and that's TJ Watt. And you can go 1A and 1B with those 2 dudes. Both are ball magnets, but I think TJ Watt he had a pick last week, almost a pick 6, dropping back, and it hurt to hook the curls.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And get a sneaky interception. The ball finds him, and it reminds me of his brother. The ball found his brother too, and JJ Watt. But anyway, looking at this game, I just think it's going to be a really tough spot for Jacksonville. I know the line is saying -3, but something's a little fishy about that. Has Jacksonville caught a rhythm? I think they have, but I think this is almost like one of them bear traps going to Pittsburgh. So my best play here, just looking at the first half, kind of being a little tight. We know that Pittsburgh is not going to score a lot of points. They're going to rely on their defense and manage the game offensively. But if you look at Pittsburgh's defense over the past few weeks, in the first half, it's been 0s and 3s and 9s, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the 0s, the 3s, and 9s for the first halves of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think they'll be able to handle that in this week. So give me the under for 2 units, Pittsburgh under, and Pittsburgh Jacksonville under 20.5 in the first half.
Yeah, I think you're on it there. I think you're basically fading the Jags. You're basically selling the Jags at their highest spot, right?
Yep.
They are playing great. I obviously faded them last week. Part of that was a Trevor Lawrence fade, but hey, they rallied on a short week coming off 2 weeks being away
100%.
across the ocean, and then rallied and won a tough road game against a good defense, and that was impressive. I will say, like you said, the Steelers' defense is another level. Like, they create one more level of chaos, right? Like, if you're a quarterback and you have 2.9 seconds to get rid of the ball versus the Saints, or 2.7 seconds, versus Steelers, it's like 2.4. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but for a quarterback, that is a lot. And I just don't understand why the Jags it opened at 3. I just don't really understand how the Jags could be a 3-point road favorites in a place like Pittsburgh. And I think the early line movement has shown that line was a little too big. And I think the Sharps are kind of with you there. I like your little angle of taking the under in the first half.
Because this is what, and this is I'm trying to put my head around it, because when I threw these lines and stats out, it's just weird, right? Pittsburgh is playing the bend don't break type of defense. And when I say that, look at these numbers. Pittsburgh is 4-2 and have one of the worst offenses in football. They're 4-2 and statistically have one of the worst defenses in football. They're ranked 30th against total yards, 25th against the pass, 28th against the run, 17th with points allowed. It's not adding up, but I think what's happening is they're playing games are being tight, and they're able to win these games at the end. So even with those stats, give me that first half under. I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll be the pressure, like you said, from J.J. Watt and that D-line able to get – I mean, J.J. Watt and Highsmith, I mean, that combination is tough. So Lawrence, I know he's still having that little lingering issue with the injury. He's going to get some pressure on him. Now, the only thing that scared me, they can run the football on this Pittsburgh team, but hopefully they don't break. And we can get some field goals out of the first half, and I'll be good and cash out those 2 units.
Here's my thing about your spot. One last thing before we move on, too. Like, sometimes I'll pay to see it, and you're in a pay to see it spot.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. If the Jags bust open the Steelers in this game and whip their ass and drag them around, then guess what? Trevor Lawrence has ascended to being one of that probably top 5 dude that everyone thought he was coming out, and him and Doug Peterson and the Jags are a contender, right? So sometimes it's what I call a pay to see it bet. And if I faded them last week and you're fading them this week and they prove us both wrong, well, then it's time to look at your handicap and be like, man, this Jags team's for real. They're a top 5 or 6 team in the NFL. Like, and you just have to go with it.
So let me ask you, Sharp, and I know we got to move on. Nate, is it really Trevor? Is it Trevor Lawrence though? I mean, when I watch him, I think he makes the good plays. He makes the right plays. Uses his legs, extend. I just feel like they're running the ball really, really well with Travis Etienne, and I think that's what's.
I think it's the fact that Trevor Lawrence has a former quarterback and a coach that sees the game like a quarterback, and I think they're both, now that they're a full year together. And now their second season together, I think just it's coming together, right? Their game plans, they're probably seeing it the same way. Doug's probably saying, hey, you pick the plays you like, I'll call them. And then Trevor's probably getting a little more input on the game plan of what he wants to run, and Doug's calling that. So it's just like, that's just how it goes when a quarterback and a head coach see the game the same way.
Got it.
Yeah, I think everything you guys are saying is spot on. I like the take. I'm actually leaning Steelers here. And I'm actually leaning Steelers money line, and I think the Steelers win this game. Like you said, the Jags are coming off a decent win where a lot of reports that Lawrence was out. Was that a Thursday night game?
Thursday night,
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of got like a mini bye, right? You got like a mini bye to get those guys healthy. And I think the one thing that you said that was interesting about this Pittsburgh defense is that they're leaky from a rush defense side, right? They give up, I think, about 135, 140 yards per game. But on the other side of that is that the Jags are leaky from a pass defense side. They're one of the worst pass defense in the leagues, and that's where my best bet is. I think Pickens is coming on, and I think this number is way too low at 53.5 for him being the number 1 receiver. Now I know Johnson came back and made some noise last week, but it just really kind of opened up more for Pickens. Because Pickens still had 100 yards last game. So give me George Pickens. This is kind of what kind of mimicking almost like what Sharp was saying. We don't have a big sample size, but with McLaurin is just weirdly way too low, like 50 yards.
Mhm.
You know, like I expect him to have almost 40 yards by halftime. You know, especially with a team going against a team that can't pass. I'm sorry, a team they can pass on, and we already know that as much as the Steelers' identity has always been to run the ball, we can't run the ball. You know, can't run the ball. So give me George Pickens over 53.5 yards. This is actually one of my bigger plays of the week. It might be my biggest play of the week. I'm going 3 units on this thing, baby.
Mm. He's on my fantasy, so let's go.
Yeah. I let me hold on, all right, let me stop right there. Let me check that weather. Let me check that weather report. Didn't check that weather report yet.
I was gonna say what's interesting about that game is all the receiving props are low. Like everyone's Kirk,
Yeah.
Ridley, Johnson,
I know.
everyone's is like 53, 54. Pickens, obviously.
Okay, 48. That's Pittsburgh weather. 40.
Yeah,
40,
it's
48.
we're not like bad weather yet anywhere, I don't think.
Yeah.
I
40.
feel like that plays to what I'm saying now. I feel like it plays to an under, right? Like none of your receivers gonna get over 50 yards. That means they're going. I don't know. That's some weird numbers there. Because
Yeah.
Christian Kirk can go off. I mean, Ridley's been off a little bit these few weeks, but like you say, I mean, it's just an interesting situation here.
And if it's a slow scoring game, you gotta favor Pittsburgh. I kind of like Pittsburgh with the line. You know, but I think Pickens is really starting to come on, and you can see that receiver quarterback connection after the play. Like they're talking, like they're giving each other like support and everything. And I think that's going to build with Pickett just trusting his guy, and it's going to be to a point where he's just going to throw. He does it now. He trusts him enough just to throw it up and say, "Hey, go get it." You know, just go get it. So.
That Travis Etienne over 20.5 receiving yards looking really juicy right there, man.
That's true.
I mean, over the past few weeks, he's had 24 yards, 28, 48, 50 on 3, 3, 4, 3, 4. I mean, we got that rush coming up and fast. We're expecting between Highsmith and TJ Watt. He's going to have to get that ball out quickly. This could be an opportunity there. That's something to kind of look at before game day.
Yeah, and then the key thing with these props, I think I said it last week. These numbers move, man.
Sure,
they
do.
Really do. They move.
They're very dynamic.
Yeah, by the time Sunday comes around, if some of the people who watch are Sunday bettors, I guarantee you this George Pickens line is going to be like 56.
Yep, 58, 56.
58. Yeah, in that realm. You know, this Travis Etienne,
24
and
easy.
a half.
Easy.
Yeah, right. Easy. 24 and a half. Right. So. I like the way you think, brother. Stop jumping in front of me because I know
my
these
bad.
lines too, man.
I'm pipe down.
No, you good. I like it. I mean, we on the same page, but like just FYI. So if you like the picks that we're giving, especially on the prop picks, you got to jump on them now. You have to because you're gonna miss out on the line where it's like AJ Brown 88.5. Was it 88.5 or was it 85?
Yeah,
88. He
88
might
and a
get
half.
to 90. He might get to 90. I think 89 makes a lot of sense. Maybe 90. I don't know if he goes over 90 though. I don't know. I'm
going 125, baby. I'm going 125.
I hear that.
I tell you what, I can't wait. You know, I will say, obviously, I don't know. There's really no defensive special teams props up yet. I will say this, Kevin Byard doesn't have an interception yet, and Sam Howell throws a lot of pickable balls. Just something to think about.
A good welcome to Philadelphia type situation there.
You know what I mean? It just feels like that, like a division rival. He's coming back from Philly. He's the last 5 years, he's of all players, he's had the most interceptions combined the last 5 years. He doesn't have one yet. He really relies on being in a split safety look where he can kind of bounce in and out of looks, and now I think him and Blankenship can do that. Maybe they can run a little more robber looks and let him just kind of use his instincts. I would expect that he might get a pick this game.
I think it's a good take. I think he's going to throw a pick for sure. You know who else is going to probably throw a pick? Jalen. Because Jalen been throwing that chicken up too as well. So
I finally cashed out. I took advantage of that last week. I said I'm putting money on it. I mean,
I think he's up there with Allen leading the league. So, and I think he leads the league in turnovers. So, yeah, it is what it is. It's fortunate that we're 6-1.
Listen, keep getting W's.
Yeah, that's all that
Yeah.
matters. All right, let's keep the train moving. Good talk on this. I think we both see. I think we see this game right. This Jacksonville Pittsburgh game. Let me go back to the list here and what I have. Oh, well, I guess we keep going down the line here. I'm going back to the well, man. It's an auto bet for me. He burnt me last week. We got the Rams versus the Cowboys. Cowboys favorite -6.5, total 45.5. Auto bet, and don't even care. There's no handicap. His name is Cooper Kupp. That's the handicap. Over 84.5. That's the handicap. Again, his name is Cooper Kupp. That's the handicap. I got nothing else for you. That's why I'm betting it, because his name is Cooper Kupp. Over 80.5. He had, 30 yards last game, couple drops. I think he bounces back here. Now, Dallas does have a decent defense statistically. So they do have a decent defense. They get after on the run side. So I feel game flow wise, I don't think that the Rams are going to be able to run the ball, even though Henderson looked okay a little bit last week. Who else was there? Who else is on their team that was kind of new? Who's the other
Rams?
running back? Yeah.
They had Williams.
Well, Williams is out,
Williams is out. Yeah.
right?
But they brought Henderson in.
They brought Henderson. I thought it was somebody else.
But he ain't
Was it
get no
Freeman?
play.
Was it Freeman? Forrest Freeman?
Royce Freeman.
Maybe
Yeah,
it was,
Royce Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but never mind. He didn't really see my Henderson looked like he was.
Yeah.
He played. He looked like he had fresh legs. Really, is what he looked like. Which he did. But like I said, I don't really have a handicap on this one. This is an auto bet for me. Give me Cooper Kupp over 85.5 yards. All right. I think Diddy, you got a bet on the worst game of the week, if I'm not mistaken. The Jets versus the Giants.
Yeah, let's go.
Minnesota versus Iowa, right?
Gotta find them. You gotta
Minnesota.
find them. Listen, man, I'm gonna go here, man. I mean,
Go ahead.
the Giants got to question what they're gonna do. You got a $30-40 million quarterback. You got to play
He's
him.
out. He's out, by the way.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, I don't think. Yeah, there's no question. I think. Yeah, exactly. It's Tyrod this week.
It's Tyrod for sure.
So I like. So this is where I'm going. I think this game is going to be a very, very tight game. It's going to be a low scoring game. Two defenses are going to be fighting.
You think 36.5?
36.5. So we're looking at Giants team total under 16.5. I don't think they score 17 points. I wish it was 17.5. Obviously, I would love that line, but I don't think 17 points get scored in the game by the Giants. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. And I really lean the Jets here too, coming off the bye. I just think that defense is going to be able to suffocate those receivers out there on the edges. And it's going to be a Barkley and Tyrod show, and it's just not going to be enough with that front four that's going to be able to rush Tyrod Taylor. He's going to be scrambling and trying to do the best he can do to extend plays. But I like the Jets here defensively to keep these guys under 17 points, and that'll be my play. This will be a 1.5 unit play for Giants team total under, especially coming off a bye. You get Sauce Gardner back, lockdown city. Let's get it going.
Is Sauce playing?
I believe he is. From when I looked at the injury report, he looked like he was okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think him and DJ Reed are back.
And DJ are back. Yep, they had 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's why for them. So here's my thing with them. This game to me, I think your handicap spot on. I think this game really comes down to which quarterback screws up, right? And I actually think the fact that it's Tyrod Taylor give the Giants a better chance because do I think Daniel Jones gives them a higher ceiling? Like if Jones plays well and Tyrod plays well, do I think they're better with Daniel Jones? Yes, but I also think Jones has a higher propensity to give the game away with fumbles and bad interceptions. Where I'm pretty sure Tyrod will understand the assignment here that this is going to be a 17-16 race to 17 type game. And that he just needs to taking a sack and taking a punt is fine. You just cannot turn it over.
Yeah.
So I will say with the coming to turn the ball over, I do think that I trust him a little more than I trust Zach Wilson. But you nailed it. I mean, in my opinion, the Jets almost tried to give away the Eagles game. Like they left their two best corners out thinking, in my opinion, oh, we're going to lose the Eagles anyway. So let's rest our two best corners. That way coming out of the bye and our stretch run, they're fresh.
Mhm.
And so you got their two best horses on the outside now fresh. They're going to be able to run with Jalen Hyatt, take him out of the game. I just don't know how Giants are going to be able to manufacture many points.
Yep.
I think the Jets, they like to go for it on fourth down, coming out of a bye, watch for some special teams trick play or something to flip momentum if they need it. I like your handicap here. The total is going to be in my teaser. I'm going to have a teaser that has some unders, and this game will be teased up to 49.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of runs. I think you're going to get probably both backs really good touches, well over 15 touches, 16, 17 touches. So that's going to run the clock a little bit, play into my favor here. So yeah, I agree 100%.
I'm doing it. I'm jumping in the game here. Give me the under, straight up. Under 36.5.
Mm-hmm.
He likes it. It's the Iowa game, baby.
I do. It's the Iowa Minnesota game. It really is. Both the last two games, Buffalo, they lost to Buffalo 14-9, and then they just lost to the Commanders 14-7. I agree with everything you guys are saying from a handicap perspective. I actually lean Giants here. I think the Giants actually might win this game. I told you guys in the chat before, Tyrod, I'm telling you, man. Tyrod knows how to win with junk.
Don't come on. They a giant, bro. Don't be.
Bro, he knows how to win with junk. He just does.
Don't be so hype about Tyrod though. Like, come on, he's a giant. He's a giant. Like, stop.
I'm not hype. I'm just talking about the game.
You sound hype. Let's run it back. You sound hype.
Tyrod, I'm telling you, man. Tyrod knows how to win with junk.
Don't come on. They a giant, bro. Don't be.
Bro, he knows how to win with junk. He just does.
Don't be so hype about Tyrod though. Like, come on, he's a giant. He's a giant. Like, stop.
I'm not hype. I'm just talking about the game.
You sound hype. Let's run it back. You sound hype. Make sure you put
I do sound hype because you was talking smack about Tyrod before, and I told your ass about him.
I like Tyrod. Tyrod. I like Tyrod. I ain't going. I'm not dick riding Tyrod though.
I'm not saying all that. But if the man made me some money with him and Waller, you know what I mean?
All right. Just remember, he a giant though.
He is a giant. He's a giant. So hold on, let me ask you this: while we're on this subject, where's your giant Cowboys? Are you more hater Giants than you are the Cowboys?
I mean, we hate the Cowboys now.
I know, but there's equal because there's giant fans in people's families, so it's really different. With Giants, there's not a lot of Cowboy fans and families.
My best friend in high school is a Giants fan, so that for me that always tipped the scale because it was better to rub it in his face when we beat the Giants than I didn't have a close friend that was a Cowboy fan.
I don't think anybody does.
It's crazy. These teams only played each other 4 times. Did you know that?
What? The Giants and the Jets?
Jets and the Giants 4 times, 19.
Yeah, because their turf is so trash. They don't want to risk having their own players play each other and have to go out.
That's funny. Wow, that's crazy. I thought it'd be more. I thought it'd be more times than 4 times prior. That's interesting.
So put me in the under here. What did you do? Diddy? You did under Giants team total.
Giants team total under.
What's the half? Before I go there, what y'all think the half is? 14.5 under?
17. It's gonna be 17.5 or 18.
17?
Yeah, I was thinking 18 and a half.
Ooh, 17.5. Let me switch my bet, bro. Under 17.5. Love that hook. Actually, you know what?
Damn, I like your team. I like your total. I don't know. I like your
I like the game.
I like the full game. I would say that. You get a more opportunity with the full game because if they score early somehow.
Yeah, and then it gets real tight at the end, fourth quarter.
You can see adjustments.
Yeah.
17 Yeah, my thing is, once the scripted plays run out for both offenses, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. I'm tripping. Yeah. I like the first take. 36.5 under. All right. Let's keep the thing moving, baby. That's so funny. That's terrible. That's such a shitty game. It's probably gonna be on TV too. That's crazy. All right. Let me look what you got here, Diddy, real quick. You have some
Atlanta.
question marks. Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta and Tennessee. Sharp, am I missing anything that you got? Any games that I'm missing that I'm crossing over?
Yeah, I was coming through some props right now. Yeah, I've got a couple straight up bets. So in the afternoon slate, I like.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Is it 1 o'clock games or is any games we
1
done already?
o'clock. 1 o'clock. 1
Is it
o'clock.
a game we done? Is it a game we done
No.
already? Okay.
Nope.
All right. All right. Well, let me know when is the game. We're about to do anything in the Vikings, Packers, or Texans, Carolina game.
Yeah. I have the
Texans and
Vikings.
Carolina, yes.
All right. Talk to us. Texans, Carolina -3.
Yeah, so part of me wanted to take Houston here, right? Like I think they're the better team. I actually think they're the better coach. I just think their program, as a franchise, they're headed in a better direction than where Carolina's going. I think right now they feel a little better about their first round pick. With that being said, I'm not ready to have CJ Stroud be a road favorite quite yet by a full field goal. At 2.5, I would start leaning Houston. At 3.5, I would lean Carolina. Well, that line hasn't budged. But I think both defenses here are going to win over both offenses, and I like under 43.5. I just think right now CJ Stroud isn't quite the same on the road as he is at home, and I do think the Panthers are led by their defense, and I just think this will be a game where it's just ugly and one of those like 20-20 late, maybe overtime dooms me, and that's how I would lose this bet. But I've got this game should be power rated more at 40-41, so I'm getting about a field goal value. I like the under.
Yeah, I like this bet. I like anything under with Carolina in it because that offense is horrific. What is their team total? 20.5. If it was 21, obviously we all would really like it. I'm trying to think how they score. How many times have they scored 20 points?
I still lean 20.5. Like I would lean under at 20.5 still. Where I would stop taking it is 19.5. At 20, I'd still probably even lean under. At 19 is probably where I would be like, eh.
Yeah, they scored 20 a couple times so far. So when did they get they haven't won a game. When did they get their first win? The Bears? Maybe?
It was early on. Yeah, I think so.
No. When they haven't won a game. They're 0-6.
Oh, you're saying, yeah, Carolina. When are they going to get their first win?
Yeah, when are they going to get their first win?
Not this week.
I mean, that's the thing. I really want to take the Texans, but I for some reason, like that line jumped right out to me as I think Houston should probably be, I don't know, to me, maybe 4-point favorites. But then in my mind, I'm just thinking CJ as a rookie, maybe he hasn't earned that line yet. So I just kind of been staying away. But I do think the Texans are good, like a lot better than the Panthers.
Yeah, I agree. Good take. All right. Going down the line here. We got a lot of bets this week. I feel.
Diddy, didn't you say you have a game and you got something in Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta, Tennessee.
Yep.
Atlanta versus Tennessee. Atlanta's -3. Wow, the total's even lower. 35.
Now I was gonna say that's a dumpster. Now if you're tuning into Will Levis versus Desmond Ritter, you got a serious problem.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take advantage of that bullshit, and that's what I want to do. We're gonna take the same take as we had with the Giants and the New York Jets, and we're gonna look at the Tennessee Titans and to go under 16.5 team total. I mean, I don't know anything about Will Levis. I do know he was a good football player at Kentucky. I know he had injuries preseason coming in. He looked pretty good, but this Atlanta defense is top 5, and they're really, really good, and they get after you after the quarterback. And I think they'll give Tennessee, who ultimately struggles offensively all year so far, even with King Henry back there, which I'm thinking they're probably going to try to see if they can get him off their books. So for me, this is an opportunity for one Atlanta, because I do like Atlanta here. I think they've been playing well. But I love just their defense and be able to hold down Tennessee, who's been hobbling. Titans offense has been in trouble over these past few weeks. Malik Willis, if he was out there, same thing, and Will Levis is your unknown. But I'll take that versus one of the top 5 rated teams without blitzing against the run. So give me that team total under 16.5. And
I
then
like
I'm
this.
gonna
This is a
I'm gonna
decent
buy you
play.
half a point on Atlanta here. Get it to 2.5. I think Atlanta controls this game. They run the football. They're able to play action off that with Ritter, who's not great. He's been okay. All right. Limiting his turn. Well, he did have that fumble going into the end zone yet last week. It's more a Tennessee take for me. Just Tennessee not knowing where they are, offensively not knowing where they are, and going against a better defense. Give me the 2.5. I'll take Atlanta here by field goal. And maybe it'll be a 17, like you say, 17-13 game, Atlanta.
Now look at this. This is really interesting, and I think you might have something here, Diddy, where the team total under for Tennessee could be a monster play here. You've already said about Henry in the talks. He's not even on a rushing prompt.
Mm-hmm.
It's Spears.
Hmm.
I know there was some conversation. I've read earlier. There was some conversation with Henry going to Baltimore. Like that's heating up.
There's actually a lot of conversation with him going to Buffalo. Buffalo restructured 3 contracts today.
So when you think about this play, you got Levis and Spears as your 2 guys in terms of your offensive firepower. I mean, it could be a business decision for is Hopkins hurt?
I don't think he was
Is
hurt.
he I don't think he's hurt, right? He's still playing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, there's Derrick Henry right here for longest rush. It's interesting he's on longest rush, but he's not in the rushing prompt.
Well, how
And
many
there's
yards
no
is for Spears?
26.5.
Yeah, no, that's telling. Well, it doesn't tell me King. It's not telling me King Henry's not going to be there with 26
Have
and a
you
half
ever
rushing.
not seen Henry in a rushing prompt?
They they just may not want to put it out there yet because, like I said, just a lot of rumbling. With trade week coming up, you got Tampa Bay's playing tomorrow. I mean, Buffalo's playing tomorrow.
That's the thing. Buffalo's playing tomorrow, and then they can
right.
make that deal Friday, and
exactly.
then he's inactive Sunday.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happens. That's what they're probably waiting on.
Yeah, no, and I'm saying.
I also think DeAndre Hopkins is the same way. Like, there's a lot of teams out there. I've seen Steelers name pop up for DeAndre Hopkins trade.
Ooh, him and
I've heard that.
Black
I've
and
heard
gold?
I've heard the
Black and
Niners
yellow?
pop up. I've heard the Niners pop up for DeAndre Hopkins. They have cap space for him.
That means that Debo injury is worse than what we think if they're looking at him. Oh man, I really like this under. I'm telling you on this under here on the Titans. This is
Please
definitely
do.
going to be.
The water is
I think
warm.
this is a 2-unit play for me.
I mean,
Because
that game, I'm with you. That game will be in my teaser. I've got I'm keeping it simple in teasers this week in terms of it's just going to be unders. I'm only going to have one teaser, and that game will be in my teaser under for sure. That's going to be a snowball fight for sure.
yeah, that's really interesting. And I know they have Robinson here, but I read that he practiced, whatever that headache injury was, not fully cleared yet. So, one prop I would wait for here, and I think he's hit this in a couple, is Ritter's rushing prop. He's not the fastest guy, but low key, 38 yards, 18, 10, 39. So, he does know how to move his legs a little bit. Yeah, I think that's another one. But oh man, I think he found a gem here, especially with some of the information coming out. And then I would be looking at sacks here too. It's funny, we all these shitty games, finding some of these gems, because if Levis is playing, a rookie quarterback playing,
Yeah.
he's going to hold that ball long to make sure he can throw it. And that's going to let these guys be able to get home. You already talked about how this defense up front is good without even blitzing, right?
They are.
So I could see some sacks here getting home to a rookie quarterback trying to make an impression, trying to make something happen for his team by holding on the ball too long. So, and then making mistakes. He's going to throw a pick more than likely. Looking at defensive scoring prompts as well. This is all kind of coming into this game. So, everybody keep a lookout. I think this is a gem here, Diddy.
And that's
Good,
another reason
good
why I like
bet.
Atlanta here buying a point to get to 2.5, because if Ritter can play like he played last week, limit his turnovers, I think they'll be fine. I think this can be I don't want to say easy because you're still traveling to Tennessee, but I think this will be a pretty fair game for them to kind of take advantage of all the stuff that's happening in Tennessee right now. So
I mean, to me, this is like Tennessee's last stand, right? You let Desmond Ritter come into your building and beat you after you just traded Kevin Byard, and then maybe Derrick Henry's on his way out. Like, your team's done. Like, you're in full rebuild mode. And I'm not sure Mike Vrabel's a rebuild mode kind of coach. He just doesn't seem like a guy that would just be happily sit around and tank. Like, he seems like more like a Mike Tomlin. He'd rather stay at 9-8, 8-9, 7-10 for a while than just all out tank. So I'm with you here. Like, there's just so much variance with those quarterbacks. It's hard for me to pull the trigger on a specific side, just because, man, Ritter. I mean, this is truly the toilet bowl game of the week. I mean, this is Ritter versus freaking Will Levis, man. I mean, this is terrible.
Yeah, I agree. And I just went back and looked at going with some of the sacks here. It looks like Atlanta gets that push from up in the middle, but in the middle of their defense. But when Willis came in after Tannehill got hurt, he got sacked 4 times already. So yeah,
and
I think
Atlanta's only averaged 19 points a game for opponents. So
yeah, I really like this bet. It's a really good bet, bro. Really good bet. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Anybody Saints in New Orleans?
Nope.
I said Saints in New Orleans. I'm
Um,
sorry. New Orleans and the Colts.
Yeah, I was waiting for I'm trying to see is Kamara's prop up yet? I mean,
I
at
don't
this
know.
point, it's got to just be autoplay on his
No, it's
receptions.
not up yet. It's not up. Yeah, it's not
I
up yet.
I was refreshing, but I haven't seen it. I mean, when it comes out, I'm going to take it. It's pretty. I mean, until they make a QB change and go to Jameis Winston, who likes to push the ball down the field a little more.
Mhm.
I mean, Kamara's just literally going to get, in my opinion, unless they're pulling him for injury or a blowout win or loss, he's going to get 9 to 15 targets every week in the passing game. And he's got great hands. He creates really good separation. I mean, the one thing he truly might be better at Christian McCaffrey at is running routes and catching the football. And he's just if his props is 6.5, 7.5 catches, I'm taking it every time.
Yeah, I think his over too for Russian receiving is probably a good thing to look at too, because he's still the lead dog from a rushing standpoint too. He's going to rush the ball almost 15 times, give you probably almost 50, 60 yards. He might break a big one. Only problem is he just doesn't score touchdowns. That's the only thing with him. He does not score. He's as much volume that he's being used as. He just does not score touchdowns. He had that one year. I think he had like 16.
Because he had that one Christmas Day game where he had 7.
Oh shit!
Remember, he had that Christmas Day game in those red shoes, and he scored 7 touchdowns. Remember, he doesn't have Sean Payton calling plays in the red zone anymore, and that's where Sean Payton was really good. Him and Drew Brees were really good at creating red zone matchups. Mm-hmm. And no disrespect to Dennis Allen, he's an NFL head coach, and he's probably forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. But I mean, come on, it's not hard to see that his offense ain't it.
I heard that. All right, I think it's already been out the bag. We got the 4:00 games coming up. Watson is not playing. He's out. Line is -3.5, which is really short to me. In Seattle, so stay away game for me. I don't know what to think about this. I I would think that Seattle would roll here, but I guess they're giving a lot of respect to that defense on the Cleveland side of the ball, where they're going to be able to go up there in the Seattle in 12 and be able to handle that that crowd in this game. So stay away. You see the total is very low as well, 38. So I don't have anything on this game. What about you, boys?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
No, I mean, my thing is, I almost think Seattle might be getting a little too much value with that hook. When you watch Geno Smith, like, he needs a clean pocket. He can't stand when there's any kind of traffic. He doesn't make plays on the run. He doesn't drift back in the pocket to create more space. He likes a clean pocket, or he likes to step up. If he has that, he's one of the best throwers in the National Football League, and he's got 3 receivers that all get open at different levels. Well, that's not going to happen with Cleveland, and Cleveland's defense travels. So unless P.J. Walker gives this game away the other way, which I do think Seattle's defense, now that Bobby Wagner's kind of making the checks and he's back with everyone and everyone's used to him calling the checks, and then you've got Witherspoon, who's been an unbelievable addition on the outside, and now Jamal Adams back. They're a really good defense. This is another game trending to the under. I don't see a ton of value unless you were taking the Browns. I could see the Browns winning this game on defense again. I think Diddy was right. I think the Browns and Niners basically beat each other twice, right? Like, those two defenses went through war trying to establish who was the better one against a physical offense on the other side, and it kind of paid the next week. So I would expect Cleveland to bounce back this week on defense.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the line is telling us that too as well. For sure. All right. Let me see. Let me ask this instead of going to every game. Does anybody have any more straight plays? Are we on the teasers?
I did have a look at the Minnesota game. This came from a play to a lean. I was going to ride the hot hand right here. I know Minnesota's coming off a really big win against San Fran. I was listening to the Pat McAfee show, and they had Harrison up there as a special guest. Safety. Is it Harrison? Yeah, Harrison's safety, right?
Where's the
He would just
Minnesota?
say again.
Oh, Minnesota. You talking about the Vikings Green Bay game?
Vikings Green Bay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I was just listening to him, how kind of getting inside of the locker room and what was going on. And it just seemed like, they kind of was, kind of rallying week to week, right? They haven't given up. He was saying pretty much like, we were really playing loose. We had nothing to lose. It was one of them games that we were able to kind of go out there and just have fun. And that's what you saw on Monday night. I think that carries on to this week. So it was just more of a lean to me. I haven't really put a play on it yet, but I just wanted to put it out there. I think Minnesota -1 playing Green Bay. I know Green Bay's coming off a bye. It's also tough to play in Green Bay, but there's a lot of veterans on that Vikings team that's been in Green Bay. So I just think the hot hand here is Green Bay, trying to get to 500 playing against a bad Jordan Love. I just don't trust Jordan Love, and I like what I saw with Minnesota's O-line playing against the San Francisco's defensive line, able to protect Kirk Cousins there. So it's a lean, -1. I just think it's a short number. So it's just more of a lean to me.
Okay. I like it. I think that's it for the straight plays for the week. So Diddy, the teaser god himself. I know you got a couple. You always got your 3 or 4 teasers, so let's run them.
I'm trying to get back, man. Last week was a very, very rough week for me, so I got to redeem myself. I hope I gave out some good few plays here. Seems like the team is on top of those and agree with me. They're going to be telling me on a few of those, so hopefully we can make some money. 2-team teaser here. We're going to start with 2-team teaser. It's going to be a 2 to 3 unit play for me. It's going to be Philadelphia, going from Philadelphia from -6.5 to a 1.5. So Philadelphia to win at Washington, 1 p.m. game. I think Philadelphia is the best team in football right now. The record proves that. We beat the Miami Dolphins. I just think that we're hitting on all cylinders. If we continue to run the football, which I think that's how we are successful, limiting Jalen Hurts to having to throw the ball 45 times, I just don't think that needs to be done. And I think that's a recipe for disaster. We can do that against Washington team, who I think there's a lot of turmoil in that locker room. I just find them to be able to win this game. So we're going to go Philadelphia to pretty much a pick, and we're going to go Kansas City going to Denver -7.5. We're going to bring them down to a pick to win in Denver. Historically, Denver plays Kansas City tough, no matter what the situation may be. Um, I, Kansas City's just hot right now. Like
You
to what
said
Sharp said,
you said they play him tough.
Denver plays Kansas City. Usually play them pretty tough. I think they were. I think last year they were up like 24-0 and ended up being like a one-score game.
So
Um,
just to let you know, not to cut you off, I just looked
yeah,
it up because I was thinking the same thing. Like, is this a trap game? Pat Mahomes has never lost to the Denver Broncos.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
he's 12-0 against the Denver Broncos.
Amen to that.
Jesus.
Amen to that. Yeah, I'm just saying is they usually play them close. I didn't say they're going to win. So that's why I want to tease them down to a win. 19-8, 27-24, 34-28, 28-24. And the last time it was a two-score game was December 5th, 2021 at 22-9. And then it was 22-16. So for me, I just think they play them tight. I just think this Kansas City Chiefs team is kind of understanding what they need to do. Travis Kelce's been a beast. So give me them to win, and they're going to bring it down to a pick. So that's a two-team teaser: Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think that's going to be the Super Bowl again. Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the two best teams right now in football.
Yep. Next teaser is going to be a three-team teaser.
Yeah.
I just took the best teams I thought going off the card and bringing them down to pretty much a win. We're going to go New England, Miami at 9.5. We're going to tease that at 10 point, get them to a pick. I think Miami bounced back this week. I know New England had a big game last week beating the Buffalo Bills, but this ain't the Buffalo Bills, and that ain't Josh Allen. And they got the cheetah to worry about. Hopefully Watt will be back with that back injury. I know it was tighten up against the Eagles. But the Patriots are the Patriots right now. I don't believe in them. I think that was a big win for them, but I think they'll come back to earth. Give me the Miami for a really big bounce back game. Get them down to a win. I'm going to go Kansas City again. We're going to get them to +2.5. I told you about that game. And then we're going to go Baltimore going to Arizona. The only thing about this game, it could be a little fishy, is if Kyler Murray is going to play or not, or what the situation may be on that side. But I think Arizona's ready to pack it in. I think Baltimore really showed themselves last week against the Lions, who I've been roaring about. Don, I know my guy. We fell short in a big way, but give me Baltimore to a +1.5 in a three-team teaser. That's a 2-unit play also. Miami, Kansas City, and Baltimore 2-unit play here. I'm really confident in this three-team teaser.
I'm just gonna let you know Murray is playing.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't matter to me.
He's coming in. He's coming in cold. Obviously,
right?
Yeah, he's coming in cold.
Yeah, is he a big impact? No,
for sure. I think so.
The last teaser I got is always a total teaser. Try to get your total teasers. 3-team total teasers. We got 2 unders: New York Jets, New York Giants. The line is set at 36.5. We're going to bring it up to 46.5. We're going to go under 46.5. We're going to go Minnesota, Green Bay. It's set at 41.5. We're going to bring it up to 51.5. We're going to go under. And then we're going to go Philadelphia, Washington, 43.5. We're going to bring that down to 33.5 and go over. So those are my 3 teasers that I have.
And is that all the teasers 2-unit plays?
No, the team total teaser is going to be a 1-unit play.
Okay, the last one, right?
Yep. And I have a 10-1 parlay that we can talk about if nobody else any other play. I just think it's a good value here, 10-1.
All right, let's Sharp. Go ahead with your teasers, and we'll get to the parlay.
Okay, this is all 4 unders. Under 49.5. The Jets and the Giants. This is a 4-team, 13-point.
Yep.
We already talked about that. Pretty simple. Teasing it up. Take the under. 48.5. Tennessee, Atlanta. We already talked about that game. Kind of what we expect. I like some of your guys' plays on the team total unders there. I'm teasing it up. 48.5 under there. This is doubling onto my straight up play. Look out for a short. I'm still not sure. I was hoping to catch a little value and get and get Houston at 2.5. But for now, just give me 56.5 on the under in that Houston Carolina game. And then we talked about it. The first game was a shootout. This game's probably going to be more of a rock fight. I do think the Eagles win, but I think it's kind of closer, a little bit lower scoring. So give me under 56.5 in that one. That finishes off that teaser. That's a 3-unit teaser. As for straight up plays, my last one, it's not out yet, but it is. Speaking of Kyler Murray, I am going to hammer his Hollywood Brown prop. Him and Hollywood are boys, man. And I know one thing for sure. He might be rusty, but Kyler Murray's going to target him like 15 times. He might only connect on 7 or 8, but I do think Hollywood Brown should be able to hit his yardage prop. It's not out yet, but I do like that one a lot when it comes out.
Nice. I have 2 teasers as well. Mine are going to be a little bit on the light side. I just added one just because of the play. I think it's hard to get away from it from a team total side. But I'm going to PA teaser. Give me the Eagles and Pittsburgh in a 2-team teaser. Taking the Eagles to win and teasing up Pittsburgh to not lose by 10. I don't think they lose by 10 by the Jags. Actually, like I said, I actually think they might win that game outright. Wish they could get over the key number 10, but this is going to be a 7-point. Do I do plus money here? No, you can't do plus money on a 2-team teaser. It'll always be minus 120, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be minus 120. Yeah. Damn, the 7 point is minus 140. You're paying for a lot of juice there. So we get a point and then 8.5. I'm okay with the 6-point teaser on this one. I don't think if the Steelers lose, they lose by a touch. I don't think they lose by more than a touchdown if they lose. I don't want to pay that much juice. So give me the minus 120 on the 6-point team 6-point 2-team teaser. And then again, you guys have all been kind of following doing it as well. These 2 games, this New York Jets and Giants game and this Atlanta Falcons and Tennessee game. Give me another 2-team 6-point teaser. I might do 6.5. Let me see what that 6.5. Yeah. I think that 6.5 looks a little bit better. I'll pay the juice on the minus 130. Give me 6.5, 2-team, 6.5 teaser. Those will be all just 1-unit plays. I got a lot of money riding right now. So got to make sure I manage my bankroll. But Diddy, you talked about a parlay. Take us home with the parlay pick, man. Let's see what you got.
Yeah. Quick question. Wemby's first bucket. Dunk, layup, or 3? What do you
Layup.
think?
3.
I'll say layup.
3 ball. First
Was
NBA points is a 3. Yes, it was.
How much was
All
that?
Oh, I didn't even look it up. I know that probably was a good opportunity there. Yeah, I didn't think
I was
about
looking at his blocks. His blocks was at 2.5. His rebounds were at like 6.5, which was really.
Yeah, he don't read about the ball a lot. The blocks look good though. I know that's probably a good.
Yeah, I looked at it. I was hoping 2. I thought 2.5. I'm looking at his numbers. He already got a block already.
Yeah, his blocks are official.
He might lead the NBA in blocks.
Yeah, I would definitely play that because he extends. He plays the
He's
shooters.
also like 7'5" legit, right?
Easy.
It's gonna take people a while to get used to like how he closes out so fast. Like it's gonna take people a while to get used to getting a shot off around him.
Yeah.
All right, so quickly here we go.
Let's
5-team money line parlay paying plus 1,007. So that's 10-1 on your money, based off a unit play, which is $100. That's paying 10-1. We're going to Houston money line, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go the New York Jets money line.
Mm.
We're going to go Atlanta money line.
I don't like none of these teams.
We're going to go Minnesota money line.
Oh, you're making it worse.
and we're going to go Kansas City Chiefs to lock in the 10-1 money line parlay 5-teamer.
Bet small, win big. $50. Win you $578.
And I have a bonus play. I forgot to talk about the Eagles. There's a gym that hitting, and it's probably hitting about, like, I want to say a little around the 70% mark. And that's within that game, the shortest touchdown being under 1.5 yards. That's a really, really strong play. The Eagles somehow always fall short of the goal line, and they're tush pushing it into the end zone. If you look at the statistics over the past 6-7 weeks, and even going further, that has hit, I want to say, close to like 70% of the time of a touchdown being scored under 1.5 yards. That just means a goal line stop, a pass interference in the end zone. And we're running the ball. That goes in hand with the tush push from Jalen Hurts. So that's something I've been playing, and it's been hitting. So just to let you guys know, as a little hidden gem.
I've got one more prop or one more teaser. It's not a big one, but I did want to confirm one thing, and
Sure.
Which I do like it. And I don't think the numbers are all starting to come down, so I don't think we're going to get any better than 21 on this teaser. So it kind of starts tomorrow. I do think the Bills, I don't really understand why they're 9-point favorites, but we've talked about Josh Allen coming off a bad loss now at home. If they do ever knockout blow, it's these kind of games. But I do think on a short week makes it a little different. Their defense is banged up, so we're taking Tampa teased up to 21.5.
Oh, okay. You're doing a teaser.
Or I'm sorry, 22.5. Yeah. Super teaser. Tampa up to 22.5.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati. I do think the Niners are in a bounce back spot, but man, I feel like Cincinnati's, like, if Cincinnati's who they think they are, they might win this game outright. So if you give me them at 16.5, so you get Tampa at 22.5, Cincinnati at plus 16.5. Kyler Murray confirmed back. I do think that makes a difference. When he's got fresh legs, he's a tough dude to handle, especially for that first time in person. And a lot of those Ravens defenders haven't seen him play. So I do think the game could get ugly, but I think with Murray, back doors are wide open. So give me Arizona plus 21. And then last but not least, the game we talked about, Pittsburgh's in a good spot. This game's kind of right in their wheelhouse, even if maybe things don't go their way and they don't get that crazy defensive stop that wins them the game. I think they cover 15.5 easily. So it ends up being Tampa plus 22.5, Cincy plus 16.5, the Cardinals plus 21, and the Steelers plus 15.5.
All big points.
Yeah, take a lot of points this week. I just I like them in a teaser just for blowout protection.
I like it.
And keeping it simple. That's a 2-unit play. I like my totals one a little better. That totals teeter was 3 units. This is 2 units.
Pittsburgh, Arizona, Tampa, 2-unit play. All right. Lots of plays, lots of numbers, lots of bets. We did our thing tonight, gentlemen. So as always, appreciate the time and effort. Let's bounce back. Diddy, I know you will this week with the NFL plays. If you guys haven't watched the college pod yet, make sure you go check out the college pod. Fucking Sam Houston doing work out here.
Yeah, they are. I noticed that. That was good job.
Sam Houston doing work out here. But in Jacksonville State doing work out here as well. That game's over. So we're on the right side of stuff moving forward, on that teaser we put out earlier for College Pod. Hopefully you check that out. If not, it'll be up at the top for you to link in. But for the boys, Sharp, Diddy, this is MoneyPot Betting. I'm Moss Money. We will see y'all next week. Happy betting.
Fly, Eagles, fly.